Hello. Welcome to this Facebook Live. We're going to be discussing the 12 healthy foods in your kitchen that are poisoning you and your family. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Tanya Painter. I'm a doctor of naturopathic medicine, and I practice in Spokane, Washington. I graduated from Bastyr University in 2012 and have been practicing here at Evergreen Naturopathic ever since. I decided that I wanted to try to reach out to more people in the community rather than just our small group in Spokane. And I'm specifically looking at busy moms, people that just really want to get healthy and want to learn how to incorporate healthy lifestyle choices, but they just don't have the time to research things or try to figure out exactly where they should start because there is so much information out there, it can be overwhelming. So this is my very first Facebook Live, so go easy on me, but if you are watching, send me a little hello. I'd love to hear from you and let me know where you're watching from, and if you're watching the rebroadcast, I'll be monitoring comments after the live broadcast is over for any questions, so feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what questions you have. If you know of anyone who needs help in navigating that confusing world of being healthy, then tag them in the comments so that they can take a look at the video and watch it later. And let's get started. So we're going to be discussing the 12 healthy foods in your kitchen that are poisoning you. What I'm talking about is the Dirty Dozen. Has anybody heard of that before? Let me know in the comments if you've heard of it. Not a lot of people have, and the Dirty Dozen is a list that's put out by a group called the Environmental Working Group. You can find them over at www.ewg.org. And every year they produce a list of the top 12 most contaminated foods with pesticides. The list is very helpful. They update it every year, and it basically anything that makes the Dirty Dozen list, you do not want to be eating it if it's conventionally grown, and I'll go over what that means in a minute. So when we're talking about organic, we're talking about no pesticides, no chemicals, no herbicides, nothing is put on the food. There are specific rules and regulations on what they can and cannot allow to touch our food. So the conventionally grown is used with a lot of chemicals, like I said, the herbicides and the pesticides. The sad thing about that is that there are a lot of those chemicals that have research showing that they are actually poisoning us. They can contribute to cancers, to asthma, depression, anxiety. There is a link for ADHD and Parkinson's disease. And saddest of all, it's a neurotoxin, which basically means that it can poison the brain, and it really affects kids and their development. So if they're exposed to a lot of conventionally grown, highly contaminated pesticide foods, then that actually messes with how their brain develops and can be a lifelong problem. So the other thing to consider is that people use these chemicals in their lawn care. So people that have Roundup, they use Roundup for weed control. They use to spray for ants and whatever other bugs might be in your lawn. And your kids are playing in that. And on top of that, if you have a garden and you're using this in your garden, then you are basically raising a conventionally grown herbicide and pesticide doused foods from your homegrown garden that you're trying to do to be healthier. So really do your best to try to stay away from those. No Roundup, none of those kinds of pesticides. So the Dirty Dozen is the list of the worst, most contaminated foods in order from worst to, I guess, best, if you want to say it. But if it made the top 12, you don't want to eat any of those. So if anybody has looked at the list, any guesses for what the dirtiest food for 2018 might be? We'll go over that in a minute. So most of the foods that make the Dirty Dozen list actually have think leafy greens and think thin-skinned fruits and vegetables. So the top most contaminated food was actually strawberries this year. Last year it was potatoes. Spinach, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, potatoes, and bell peppers. Every year, strawberries, spinach, tomatoes, and potatoes and apples always are on the top 5. So those things you definitely want to spend the extra money for and try to go organic if possible. The other ones kind of rotate through, and the order will rotate through depending on the samples that are taken by the EWG and also how the practices are being impacted. So the Clean 15 is kind of the opposite of that. So we're looking at the scariest foods in the Dirty Dozen. The Clean 15, if you can't go 100% organic, which is very expensive to do, then you're going to be safe going conventionally grown on Clean 15 because there are very few pesticides that were measured. These are mostly fruits that have thick skins and or skins that you don't eat. So looking at bananas, avocado, pineapples, cabbages, onions, sweet corn, and sweet peas, papayas, asparagus, mangoes, eggplants, honeydews, kiwis, cantaloupes, cauliflower, and broccoli, all made the Clean 15. So those ones are actually okay to eat conventionally grown. The other ones that I read, though, go organic. So if you head over to ewg.org, they actually have a little handout that you can print out and fold it up and put it in your wallet so that you can reference it at the grocery store so you don't have to actually memorize what it is that you're trying to avoid. Before we hit the treatment plan takeaway, there's a couple favors I'd like to ask of you. Head over to my Facebook page at Tanya Painter ND and follow me for similar content and hints. And tag a friend into the comments who might benefit from some of this information. Let's get the word out about organic and conventionally grown foods. Feel free to leave me comments either live now or in the rebroadcast on what you'd like to see for future Facebook Live talks. And hey, if you feel like shooting me some advice and let me know how I can improve these and what I can do to make these presentations a little bit better or more pertinent to you, then please let me know. Just go easy. This is my first time around. We'll keep them short, but I'm sure that as things grow, we will start doing a little bit more interactive, and the information will come a little bit more. So the treatment plan takeaway is the part that I like to basically kind of boil everything down to a couple of easy to implement hints. The first and kind of the basis for this was go organic when possible. And when you can't, go with the Clean 15. Avoid any foods on the Dirty Dozen list above and beyond anything else. Generally speaking, as a rule when you're shopping, if you're eating the peel, try to go organic. If you can peel it off, you can probably go conventional. And if you want to head over to my Facebook page and message me or leave me a comment, I can send you, with your email, I can send you a list of the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 for easy reference. So feel free to do that. All right, well, that was the end of my Dirty Dozen Top 12 Healthy Foods that are poisoning you and your family. Thanks for sticking it out with me on my first go-around here on Facebook Live. And join me next Monday at 1 for more great content to make healthy living easy.